got support from the community. The difficulty is the size, rooftop amenities that are overlooking people's backyards, a little concerned about the scale, and parking. And down in Kingston last month, they came up a week ago, we were looking at the planning board, or I think it was the building department, was saying that they could make a decision with regard to off-street parking and the use of residential lots for parking, but that was pretty much understood to be solely for the benefit of the Irish Cultural Center, so that was not well received because that's the kind of thing that could affect too many residential neighborhoods, and why would you allow parking on one residential lot and open up that can of worms for all the others?
Where is that supposed to be?
Well, the people that own the lot for the Irish Cultural Center also own the lot immediately across the street, which is empty. And they do not have anywhere near enough parking potentially, although they are just up the hill from all the municipal parking that goes underneath the road there.
Isn't that the Kingston Center down there, if I'm not mistaken, Spring Street?
Right now it's an empty lot because it was residential and homes burned down some time ago. So it's right up from the restaurants down. There's a paper street, if you will, that's a gravel road. It is a map street, but it's gravel, very steep. That would probably be their walk-up entrance.
Because I see the city, I saw it in the paper today or yesterday, the city's got new zoning that they're looking at.
They might be.
So,
and one of the things that one of the things that keeps coming up when towns are having a contentious problem, one of the first things the planners are asking is, have they got a comprehensive plan? Have they updated their comprehensive plans? So at the county level, when they see a difficult issue and a town is making a decision that does not appear consistent with a comprehensive plan, it's not well received. So those comprehensive plans are coming up again more and more in discussion as being the basis for perhaps taking a town in a different direction than it has been before. Because with $500 million of tourism in Ulster County and more to come, we expect to see a lot more stuff at the county level.
Thank you, Sam. Howard. Let me discuss.
No, he wasn't talking to me, he was talking about somebody.
Public hearing. For the workshop meeting, we talked about Howard's site plan that he was changing into a business office.
Oh, you mean Mr.
Howard
Wadinsky? Office space, added on parking, not on 20.
Come down here.
Oh, what about the Emerson yellow house on the corner?
I have not received any plans or anything yet to see. I did have a site meeting with the architect and preliminary drawings, but that's as far as we got.
Are those the same ones that did the window cover?
They have done everything. They started Alejandro, yeah. Interesting note, Alejandro did Spanish Baptist Church.
Did what?
The Spanish Baptist Church.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they did all the architecture behind that.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, they've been, I deal with one person in particular who's very agreeable to what I asked. I realized that dealing with that one, things are go smoother.
No, I don't need that. This is to replace,
Oh, sorry.
this to replace the
The
trees?
landscaping.
Yeah.
The tree, isn't it?
He scrapped the landscape.
He's scrapping.
Now he's going to join those two lots together like he goes.
Just got out, they went bankrupt, they're out of here. The client was pulled over.
Ends up with 1.269 acres.
They got no money.
He extended the parking lot. On the chart,
You can't put like this one.
And where's the access to the parking?
off of 28 there. Before the state DOT right now for approval.
No, and the lots won't be connected online, I've seen a lot.
Lots,
Won't be connected.
yeah, there's only be one lot.
Wait, they won't be connected?
Yes, so these are combining, two lots.
No, I'm sorry, parking lot.
Oh. No,
Four seats.
he's gonna put, a barrier up between, some pilings or something, between this parking lot and this so that people can't go through.
But doesn't he have parking over here on Mount Pleasant Road?
For the apartments,
Oh, for
yes.
the apartment.
What is this section here? What is that?
That's somebody's.
That's somebody else.
That's a house,
Yeah,
and he doesn't own this.
right.
And this building is right up to the property line?
That building.
Yes, it is.
It exists, yeah.
So that's an existing.
That's the old Philip Pelly
That's
house?
the old Philip Miller.
Oh,
Yeah, the only proposed building is the one dashed. He wants to connect.
The foundation's already there.
oh, that he built that already?
The foundation.
This is the 13.
Well, as long as you don't come above the soil, it's okay, right?
It's gonna be like a closet there.
Connect these two buildings?
See the clear copy?
Yeah, you'll have to, depending on the usage of the secondary building versus the new primary building, connect fire separate.
Yeah, he's gonna put a one-story in between, and then a two-story building over.
My question is, why, did he say why?
That one-story building.
I know why.
Why?
Makes it single structure.
Yes.
Can't have two buildings on a single lot.
Yeah, that's possible.
If you connect it, one building. You have mixed use in the building.
Yeah,
There are offices in that.
that building had offices in it.
The Phoenicia Plaza.
It's not residential, this is an apartment.
This is like a business.
No, but the Filippelli always had offices and apartments.
This is how I did this.
This is highway business. So it's a different criteria as far as the mixed use. And there were offices in the village, and they were approved.
Yes.
What happened was when he got the building and went back to putting his use in, then he got into the fire code. And to make a vertical separation from the fire code is a whole lot easier than to make it horizontal. When you get the horizontal, where does fire go?
How big is the new part of the building? How many square feet?
It's 54.8 by 54.8 square.
He's okay on all the setbacks.
I was just gonna ask that, yeah. What, his side yard setback is what? They're up in that chart.
Probably 40.
2,500 square feet.
Yeah, the proposed column there is the proposed, for the proposed building. Not the existing one, the proposed.
3,000.
Side is 40 feet.
No, 50 is 2,500.
You said 54 or 58?
Yeah, because the walls or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, between here and.
Well, you're talking about square footage
Usable
for
space is about 2,500 square feet per yard.
Yeah, it's 40 feet an inch. Here.
Well, you're talking about usable office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, well, I'm looking at
It's over 40.
coverage on the lot.
Oh, I understand that, but I'm just saying, why is he building that at all? We'll be able to rent that out?
To get some office space. I haven't seen.
What's in the back as well?
That's a lot of parking spaces for two small offices.
It's 43 feet, and that chart.
Two-story.
And that chart there, it
Oh,
says
it's two-story.
the proposed side setback is 43 feet. That's what that is. This one. Oh, that's.
So at 5,000, take out 10% of the allowance, we're down to 4,500. 19, but if you have an office of 3,
There's a new septic.
even if you have an office of 5, you're down to 5 spaces. So if you do 4,500, divided by 5 offices, each office is 900 square
I
feet.
don't think Is that septic's not?
If you're doing
Is that
office,
existing?
as an office
That's septic?
versus.
That's existing.
Existing, yeah. The
I don't
septic,
know, I don't know what-
this one's existing? Yes. Oh,
Well,
The one that says approximate location, right?
Space and framing.
okay, so that's already there, that's already there, that's a huge one too.
What?
That septic system for out there. And that also handles the apartment house? Yes.
Actually, he is regulated as to how many office space. I have a letter, I have a copy of the letter from DEP. How many apartments and how many office space he's allowed to have on that system
In terms of square footage.
in terms of capacity.
How many, what do they say for office? Do you remember?
7 or 9, that's
Oh, that's number of cubicles.
Number of, well, the capacity would go by occupancy. You can't just dictate like the house, but by basically, that dictates how many people. In an office, it's kind of back. But you can make the office bigger, but you can only have so many people in. Same thing with the house, and make the house huge, you only have 2 bedrooms, and you assume it's only have 4 people.
So you said 7 to 9 people?
I thought that's what it's throwing numbers around.
Was he
Building spacious.
Now, what's to prevent retail or?
When these offices start getting built, what they're gonna do in these offices?
No, it's a site. You don't change the
A
occupancy.
special permit. He's gonna have to come for a special permit, I mean, well, if he has in one office, that, for example, you know, I mean, he's gonna have to come back for
But we can,
special permits. You know, you can't grant special permits on businesses on a building.
for office space, granted for office space, we limit it to office space, be it a lawyer, an architect, an engineer, tax preparer, an insurance salesman. That's your office space. If you want to go to, I want to put a bed in there, that's a different classification than office space. I go,
For a
it's a
document,
different classification in the building code. So it's a different class, now you've changed your use, your mixed use.
what if a doctor moves in?
Doctor has a different set of criteria. For exam rooms, what's it gonna have in there? So if he decides to change that, it will depend on what he decides he wants to change it to, because he may have to change the interior of the building. If he has to change the interior of the building, then he has to go through the building department. And we can look at it, that way. So you can stipulate in your special permit that you're granting the use.
How would we word that to define it as?
Well, I didn't have to, I got it
Paper,
now.
Yeah,
paper office, not.
Clerical office.
It'd be like my office building, my office is in, I mean,
General
people
or
come in and
professional
out of all kinds
office
of office space, we don't do
is permitted,
office space.
general and professional offices are permitted.
So,
Not, they're permitted, period. He's here for site plan,
right.
he's putting the building on the property, he's placing the building.
I'm saying, as this progresses, if he has a dentist come in that has gases and stuff like that, and it's
Right.
connected to this apartment house that's 150 years old, you know,
Then water was sent into the planning board.
I could see that being an issue.
Yeah.
Except that, what do I base that on?
That's what I'm asking you.
Well, I'm gonna have the business, the 2 buildings will be separated by a fire separation for what warrants, and then, we've got an R classification for the apartments, and we'll have a B classification, business classification, so that's probably 2-hour fire separation between the 2 buildings. Now, the only one I can find in here, because you mentioned something about, what was it, veterinarian, didn't you? Did you have a second one for that?
Yes,
Yeah, that's a main
A veterinarian's office. He's permitted. So he would,
Yeah, but we have a situation here that he's off with it, and I agree with that. But this is a unique situation where this building is attached
To an
to a 100-year-old
For a
apartment.
residential building.
That's, if this didn't have this, for lack of proper term, lock in between them or
Yeah.
whatever, then I could see it because they're 2 separate buildings. But it being attached to the other building, I think could create an issue.
And I'm,
Because we don't know what's gonna come in.
well, I'm asking what the issue is, what the foreseeable issue is. I just want to clarify, this so I know where we're.
He has a safety issue. It's a safety.
It's fire generally, right? That's the concern.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that you have a 100-year-old wood frame structure, or even though it's been redone, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But now you're putting an office building that we don't know what's gonna go in there.
But that
And
whole
they're
building
connected.
also had offices in it, so.
Yeah, but it didn't, yeah. I'm just
He-
saying,
he could've put
I
offices-
see it being an issue.
He could have put offices, according to the building code, he could have put offices in the apartment building,
Right.
okay?
Well,
And
once
he would not have been here.
Correct. But once he chose to put residents in there, then that makes a different issue.
If he had chose to put offices that he had chose to put offices back in the apartment building,
Right.
building there, and then propose another building, and he
Right.
built it to the building code, he wouldn't be here, because he didn't change his site plan.
Residences and offices.
Yeah.
Which was already there.
We had that.
Okay, he was gonna upgrade to meet the building code, the fire code, and all of that. I just wanna make sure that we don't put a set of restrictions on something that we can't back up.
No, I'm asking.
And I understand, no, I also understand too, that your safety is first, believe me. That is the first job I look at, is public safety, public health. So we will be sure, plus the fact that if he's just putting a breezeway on here, okay, then we can make sure,
I believe
is that what that is, or what is
he's
it?
gonna have the bathrooms there.
In the low building?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
You know,
so we're gonna have a better isolation too from where the proposed offices
Right.
will be. I'll ask him, because that'll be an expense. He's not building it out to be a veterinary office. He's not building it out to be a dentist office. I work on a dentist office. The amount of equipment that's in there,
The electric changes alone. would be
the
nice.
electric, the water, the suction, everything that goes in there.
Well, I think our approval could be, we can word it on a condition that the businesses that go in there are building inspectors, review. Yeah, he can determine, his determination as to whether it's permissible, it's the type of a business that should come before the planning board with a site plan, or if it's just permissible, what it is.
Plus, I think to your point.
Our wording of the approval.
Yes.
If there was a dentist in there, and let's say a lawyer or whatever, a dentist and a doctor, would they not require a lot more parking spaces? Just for staffing and then the flow of patients in and out, as compared to a lawyer's office?
Yeah, there is, I think we did. Medical clinic, 5 per professional plus 1 per employee. Professional office, 1 per 125 square of office space.
So what's gonna happen
That'd be
here
much
is,
higher.
when he starts renting these out, he's gonna come to you and say, this is the particular occupancy that I have for this one, and then at that point you'll say, you need a certain amount of parking places.
Yeah.
And that
Well, what are you proposing? Did you, another number of stuff?
It's got 19 there.
19, I believe there is there.
Yeah, 19.
That's just for the business, proposed business building.
Right.
The parking for the apartment is already existing across the road.
Right.
But the potential is for how many different offices in there? Is it
You said 9 people, so that's like 8 offices or something.
4 offices? 4, I would say.
Well, there's 2 stories though.
Yeah.
So
2
4.
on the bottom, 2 on the top.
Yeah, 2 and 2.
2 rooms.
Right.
That's very.
It's not that big.
It's 54 by 54.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking now, if you cut it down to just 4 offices over the 2 floors,
With 225 by 50 on each floor.
now you're talking close to 1,200 square feet per office.
That's good.
Bigger than my office, I think.
I mean, that's,
Have you been in my office?
this
No,
is
I've never
probably
been.
half of
You've
that.
never been in my
No,
office?
it's smaller than
This
Trump.
is probably half
Yeah.
of that building.
I'm sure it is. So, yeah, I can understand everybody's concern.
Yeah, a little too
And-
wide.
If he's gonna fit these buildings up, I don't know if he's gonna build them to be done, or if he's gonna build shelves and do an upgrade. He hasn't come to me with that yet.
Oh, which way are you going to divide it up?
How, well, he's gonna divide it up, but is it gonna be, like, if you go into a mall, you have a tenant space,
Yeah.
there's your space. Depending on if there was somebody there or not, it's a blank slate. There's 4 walls, a roof.
So if he's
So it's
gonna,
gonna be
so if he's
dentist
gonna,
suite?
Are they gonna be built to suit, or are they gonna be built as spaces and, we're gonna have a common bathroom and everything, and then each office space is gonna be each office space, no plumbing?
So in that case, they would be coming back to you for sure.
Oh, absolutely, because you're not just gonna stick something in there.
Where are the bathrooms?
I believe it's in
One-story.
the separation,
It's a
actually,
one-story.
in the one-story section there.
How big is that?
16 by 36?
36 by 60, yeah.
You're gonna have some handicap accessible stuff inside here, you won't see it as an elevator, right?
Oh, yeah, that too.
I mean,
We will look at,
Plus he has
Yeah,
handicap on the
second
bottom,
floor.
on the bottom floor.
the entire thing does not have to be handicapped. See now, this one, the old one goes by the existing building code,
the old one.
the old one. So the new one goes by the new building code, so I had this argument and lost this argument when I was building in a mall, a retail space. They wanted a handicap bathroom. I said, it's not a public restaurant. It's a public restaurant. You don't have a handicap bathroom, you can't hire a handicap. At which point the smart person goes, oh, and doesn't take the argument any further. So, we have to look at the ADA ruling, and at which point 50% will probably cover. So if he has the first floor handicap, he doesn't have to have the second floor.
Yeah, but
Even
what
though
if a handicapped person needs to talk to the person on the second floor?
What, do they share a conference room?
Do I
But-
come downstairs?
Well, then now,
Like you do, you have to come down, because,
I come downstairs.
They can't come up the steps.
if you are not providing, in other words, that usually falls under the grounds like a municipal building, where everybody has. If you don't make it accessible to them, okay, then they can't come to you. Okay, then they'll find somebody else.
My office.
You're losing the money.
Conference room downstairs for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
So I do the same thing here, use the assessor's office. So that's more along the lines of, you're gonna lose clientele. Where the problem arises is in restaurants. There's a whole other section in restaurants where you have to have 50% rule, have to have the same amenities. You can't stick them in the room some
So this would have to go before the county, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think we're closer than 500 feet to 28, I don't know, we're going to.
We'll have to have a public hearing also. It's up to you. You can keep them in your file.
What?
I made enough copies, so anybody wants it.
But does he pay twice because he already brought us another proposal? Well, we have to, what if he, the third one, I mean, do we have to keep reviewing them even though we've only paid one?
Well, that's my question for the week, Alan. I'll look into it. You stumped me. You got me on that one.
He's maximizing our volunteer time.
I mean,
Probably each application, yeah.
Yeah, it should be enough.
Are we able to put it to a public
Did
hearing?
you draw that map for free?
right, exactly.
Are we able to set up a public hearing?
You want to move it to a public hearing? Okay.
It's going to need a public hearing.
Not at the same time we have this?
Yeah,
6:30.
We're gonna have more paperwork, though, right? We're gonna have-
from this.
Well, we're probably gonna have an application, so I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't have an application.
Yeah, you had an application, but this has been like an amendment to the app, an amendment, we should get a new one.
Yes.
Yes. Sooner than later.
Get it to us as soon as possible. It's not
We're
easy.
probably getting close to us, it's gonna have to be Friday. It's moving really fast.
No, he's not moving really fast.
We're not gonna get a storm.
Town hall already sent on Facebook.
They're already worried that school closed.
Can we,
They haven't
can we
closed.
get the application by the workshop?
But it says closed tomorrow.
I think I got a half a dozen notifications.
Yeah, by the workshop meeting, we'll have, make sure everybody's got it.
He can't.
I'll make a motion to send this to the
Liv
public
made a
hearing.
motion,
I second it.
Alan seconded it.
All in favor?
I vote for Don.
You have to go back to your seat, Don, so we can go home.
Ah, it's early.
Any
Somewhere.
discussions about anything else?
I am not here next month. Just to let you know.
The whole month?
Do you want to discuss it?
No, we're hoping.
Geez, we're going.
About what?
Wow.
Public hearing next month?
I kind of wish you hadn't told me that.
Postcard?
Yes,
Motion to
Wait a
adjourn.
minute, a sec, hold on, 1 second. When is the public hearing? What date?
March 8th.
March
March
8th. And now, since we're having
I
two,
will not be here March 8th.
okay, so at least you told us, thank you.
We got one.
Would you like to move
Two people missing?
the public hearing
Three
from,
people missing?
As long as you.
make this one earlier, or would you like to just continue on
That
from
means you guys
6:45
have to.
to, we'll say, because the last one took all of,
2 minutes.
yeah, 2 or 3 minutes, so we'll just leave it 6:45.
Santa Fe.
I don't think these two are gonna only be 2 minutes.
We'll expect postcards from the two of you, please.
Oh, no, we're not gonna get any.
You don't
This
think so?
one?
There you
We'll have
go.
people for this one. So if you don't care that it runs into your regular meeting, then we'll leave it at 6:45. Otherwise, we can list this one at 6:30.
No, it's not.
6:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6:45 is good.
And we can do 2 of them in 15 minutes.
Yeah, you think.
Go over.
Go all this time. So it's 6:45, we'll let them know the Monday before, we'll send that out.
So, can I bring up another subject?
Yes.
Yes,
So, at the town meeting, nobody's allowed to speak in the middle unless they partake, but then they open it up at the end to let public make comments.
Oh, yes.
We have a lot of people that always want to talk to us in the middle of our meeting. Should we do the same thing?
But the,
There you go. Good example, right there.
no, what I was going to say is the first part where the public gets to speak is only on resolutions.
Yes.
And at the end is just,
It's
And
a
at the end, they open it
regular
up.
comment.
open it up to public comment.
Also,
So